You don't need them. You don't need to watch football every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You don't need them. You don't need their entertainment. When some kafir scores a goal, you jump out of your seat, screaming as if it's your Eid, as if you're going to walk away with £200,000 that day. You're not walking away with anything. You've had to pay to watch the blooming thing. What do you walk away with? He walks away with $250,000 for one match. What do you walk away with? Nothing. You just paid for him. It's not worth it, ikhwah. It's not worth it. Get rid of this entertainment. Because when they tell you to be happy, you're happy. When they tell you to be afraid, you're afraid. When they tell you to keep away from your mother and your cousin and your neighbor and your brother and your sister and your son and your mother, you keep away because they put fear in you. This is how they work. This is all about controlling and indoctrination. When they tell you you come from an ape, you say, yeah, I came from an ape. I didn't come from an ape. Maybe you did. When they tell you this is how the world works, you believe them. Why? Because it took them because they've indoctrinated you into believing them. It only takes, if you get used to this 30-second, 1 minute indoctrination, all the news comes to you in a minute. So you read it for a minute, it's over. So you become afraid in a minute. You become happy in a minute. You jump off your seat in a minute and cheer in a minute. Because all of it is about controlling you, and it takes a minute. That's all it is. They'll tell you, phone on your neighbor. If he does something wrong, phone. Because he's had a visitor to his house. All of a sudden you become spies for them as well. Ikhwah, be disagreeable. Be disagreeable. Question. Learn your deen. Study the sunnah. Become individuals who think for themselves. And this is what Islam does. It gives a person courage and strength to stand up and say, no, that doesn't sound right. Let me go and study that and see what Islam says. Let me go and study that and see what the Sunnah says. Let me go and speak to Ahlul Islam, not BBC. We don't need to believe them. Not the BBC, not any news media channel. They are not the reference of our ilm. Whatever they say, you believe it. And whatever they deny, you deny it. Wallahu musta'an. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us and guide our children, guide our families, guide our communities to that which is best.